Welcome to Girl Talk. We've got a great show for you today, and we do have another special guest, Stacy Hansen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh yes, I'm so excited to be here.
How are you today?
Guys. I'm great.
Good, good. Anything exciting this weekend or?
Well, just telling the ladies that I saw a movie. Mm-hmm. Mad Max is the, well, I guess I could have been doing other things on Memorial Day, but I was in a movie.
In the theater.
In the theater, right?
I was cutting grass.
It rained, so what else are you going to do?
Yeah, well, It was raining for a little bit.
Yeah.
Walked in there with a sweater, walked out sweating. But it was...
Am I right that has Elvis's granddaughter in it? I think one of the girls.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah. Well, it also had Charlize Theron in it, which I kind of rubbed elbows with at a restaurant one time in Monterey, California.
You're practically best friends.
Wow.
Pretty much. I told her she did a really good job.
So this movie was Mad Max.
Mad Max, yes, a remake from the 1979 version with Mel Gibson. And it was very action-packed, and I think maybe like 10 minutes of dialogue throughout the whole thing. I saw it in 3D though, which was incredible. I went to that new theater in Sun Prairie.
I haven't been there yet.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty good?
It's called The Palace, and it certainly is. They have, every chair is a leather reclining.
Wow.
And you can like fold up the arms, so you
Nice.
can make it a love seat, or you can have it all to yourself. There's one theater that's actually a restaurant. So they have waiters, you can just order
Nice.
drinks with the press of a button. Yeah.
I think they tried that on the west side
Did they?
for a little while. Do you
Long
remember that?
time ago, yeah. I remember going there with my mother.
Well, it was pretty incredible.
I saw a movie this weekend too. Have you guys heard of The Age of Adeline with Blake Lively?
I have heard of it. Was it good?
It was, well, the story itself was barely plausible. She doesn't age this over a span of a century.
Okay.
But the fashion in this movie, you would not believe
Really?
it.
Over the top?
Oh yeah, just incredible. I kid you not, when I got home, I spent hours Googling fashion from the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. I'm obsessed. And the accessories she had, I need some.
Yeah.
I need some.
Well, maybe you
Must
could go to Odana Antiques and check it out.
Yes.
See what they've got.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like the vintage luggage and things.
Yeah, they
oh.
have so much, and like home decor, jewelry, just random loose heads.
I'm there. I'm telling you guys.
And Sue Duncan, the owner, is actually one of our guests today, so you can maybe check in with her.
Yeah, maybe she can hook me up.
Yeah,
Nice.
she's got. I've seen the jewelry there. It's pretty extensive. So
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I imagine being in that movie was pretty fun to get dolled up with all that.
Oh, can you imagine? Oh, yeah. Amazing, amazing. So what's new with you?
Not too much, actually. I was just going to say our other guest today, Ho-Chunk Casino or Ho-Chunk Gaming, is coming on. And I'm really looking forward to that because they're going to be talking about more of their heritage and not so much the casino stuff. And I have to admit, I don't really know that much about their history. Do you guys?
I don't either. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I always love, like, history has always been kind of like one of my favorite courses, or I love the History Channel. So like, I'm just excited to find out where they came from and all that good stuff and how they've changed throughout the years and hear their story.
Me too. What a
Right.
fascinating culture, really.
Yep, it should be enlightening. We'll also chat with Joe Conant from Conant Automotive, and
Always good to check in with him.
yeah, it's going
Keep
through
those
the basics.
reminders.
Right?
Yeah.
I think he's covering
Things to
oil
take care
changes
of.
today.
And just
which-
really the kind of the basics of,
Right.
you know, it sounds so mundane, your oil change, but really if you think about it, that's the only time somebody is looking at your car, unless
Right.
there's a problem, right? So I was thinking
Well-
how some of our guests talk about a wellness doctor, and I was thinking
Right.
that's kind of the same thing if you go.
Ounce of prevention.
I know, right? So
And that's the worst problem, is the prevention. That's the last thing I think about
Staying
until
on top of it.
something's
Yeah.
until something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
maintenance is the
Well,
key.
and one thing affects another, and then it's a much bigger problem.
Right.
So
Yeah, I haven't seen your car in like a month and a half,
we're not going to
KJ.
talk about it. Thanks, though. But I left my sunroof open, and it rained.
And it wasn't sunny.
It not later in the day when I'm like totally thinking, oh, it's a gorgeous day. I pull in.
Is everything okay?
No, I haven't had it for 3 weeks. I was at an open house and the market's so crazy. I mean, I had 12 people through and somebody wrote an offer, so I just was thinking of getting that offer to the sellers, and then we had thunderstorms and slipped my mind.
Oh no.
So don't do that, but
Don't do
we're
that.
going to talk about how to take care of your car. More on Girl Talk. We'll be right back in a minute.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. Well, if you love antiques, vintage items, refurbished items, this is a conversation you'll want to jump into and take a listen. Our guest today is Sue Duncan from Odana Antiques. Thanks for coming back in, Sue.
Thank you for having me.
Always learning fun things from what's going on inside your store.
Good.
So, speaking of your store, what is going on? What's new?
Spring,
Spring
and
stuff.
weddings. It's the perfect time of year. Everybody's buying garden and wonderful things for their weddings. So we're busy. We're very busy.
Very nice. Gotta love that stuff.
So what's hot right now? What are the big things?
The big things. Well, we're very, very seasonal, like a lot of retail stores are. So this time of year, it's watering cans are big. Any kind of garden tool is big. Windows are still hot. They seem to be a kind of annual thing. Ball jars for weddings. Let's see what else.
You said
Jewelry.
ladders too, right?
Ladders are hot too. Ladders kind of fade out a little bit in the summertime and then come back in the fall when blankets come back, and people love them for display.
And how do the windows work? You said windows. How
People like to put pictures behind them, or they paint them, or they use them for their wedding and put a different scene or a picture behind each pane of the window.
It's very much a rustic kind of look, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Some people use them for headboards.
Well, that's a good idea.
There are an amazing number of things you can do, and Pinterest has really given everybody an opportunity to share what they do that's creative.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. You've got an upcoming flea market. Can you tell us about that?
Right. It is on June 7th, and this is our third spring one. We do one in the spring and one in the fall. Dealers get there around 6 a.m. and start setting up, and we have amazing stuff. And a customer asked me the other day, well, what will I see at the flea market that I won't see in the store? And it might be items that didn't fit in their booth. It might be newer items. One year we had a great KitchenAid for, I think it was like $55, a mixer in great condition.
Good deal.
Might be a little of everything. We had a hot dog cart one year and a canoe. So we don't really know until they get there.
You don't know.
You never know.
So if you're in the market for a hot dog cart,
For a mere $4,000, yes, you can start your own business.
well, maybe you don't have a hot dog cart to sell, or you're looking for one, but if someone does have an antique that they've decided to get rid of, how would they go about participating? And
Well, generally, the amount of time you put into finding it a new home equals how much money you're going to get for it. Most antique stores do buy, we do, and I would say call the store nearest you and find out what their policies or their process is for that. You can go the consignment route and put it in a consignment store. There are a lot of good ones in town. Or you can Craigslist it, but if you do that, do it in a safe way. Put it in the garage so that people aren't seeing your entire home when they're coming to look at your item. And of course, have somebody with you.
So say I've got an antique, how do I know what's a fair price? It seems like it just runs the gamut. How do I know if I'm getting the right price?
Good question. We do a lot of work on the computer when people come in to sell things if it's not something that we've sold before. And so I would first advise people to look online, and eBay is a great place to start. But if you're looking on eBay, look at auctions that have ended, not that are currently listed. I mean, I could go online and list this for $1,000 tomorrow, but it doesn't make it worth $1,000. So you want to click that little button on the left-hand toolbar that says completed listings and find out that, oh, okay, maybe I listed this for $1,000, but all anybody was willing to pay was $100. So kind of get an idea of what your item sold for. Most people don't do that, and you'll go to sales and it'll say, as seen on eBay for $500, but sold for 20.
boy, what did we do before the internet? I mean,
I don't know.
Right?
So
That's
helpful.
a lifesaver.
Yeah, when you're trying to compare.
Definitely.
All right there.
So I love this part of your interview. What is the most unusual item or items that you've got in the store right now?
We still have a moose head. We have a huge life preserver.
No takers on the moose head
No,
yet.
I know, it's only 2,000.
Crazy.
We have a huge life preserver off a 1951 passenger liner. No, not the Titanic, but still cool.
that is
We
cool.
have a very thin woman model in a bathing suit. I'm trying to think what else is unusual, and a whole host of other very quirky, strange things. A very kind of Dante-ish painting of hell and brimstone, and in a nice kind of mid-century style. So a little of everything.
Quite a while back, you and I were looking at the fortune teller in the
She's
booth.
still there?
She's still there.
She's still there. She
Do you
needs a
remember the
home.
movie Big?
Big, yeah.
Yeah,
She's
she's the fortune teller. She's
Very
got one
similar.
of those.
We've got one.
Oh, neat.
Well, check out the fortune teller. Check out their flea market. You said June
7th?
7th. That's right. And get there early. Early bird gets the good antique. We'll be coming right back after the commercial break, chatting with Ho Chunk and getting a little history of their Ho Chunk tribe.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We've got a very interesting segment here. I'm so excited. We've got Kyla Beard. Kyla. Sorry.
She's just so excited.
I just asked, and then I was like had it in my head, but Kyla Beard from Ho Chunk.
Yep.
And we're going to be talking today, because we've had you on before, talk about the casino and everything. But I'm really excited to hear the history of Ho Chunk Nation.
Yeah.
So have you guys lived in the area long?
Yes, you could call us the original Scotties. Ho Chunk have actually lived in southern Wisconsin for thousands of years, possibly even 10,000 years or more, so it's been a long time.
Wow.
Original Scotties, I like that.
And is there a reservation like other Native American tribes?
No, we don't have one, and that's actually because there was forest removals for about 30 years in the mid to late 1800s. It's kind of sad, but the actually really inspiring part is all of the Ho Chunk people who are in Wisconsin now are actually ancestors of everyone who kept coming back. They wanted to raise their children in a place that they knew as home. So it's made us, I think, a really resilient, really determined sort of people.
That's interesting.
Wow.
So you are not a fairly new tribe.
Only in terms of being a U.S. federally recognized sovereign nation.
Okay.
Back in the 60s, we actually recognized the need to have a government. So in 1962, we established the Wisconsin Winnebago tribe. And we're a lot like the U.S. government. We have all three branches of government, plus one more. We have a general council, which is made up of all of our tribal members. So that means our tribal members have a really big say in how our government is run.
How many are there, tribal members?
Oh my gosh, I just saw a census first the other day. Couple thousand. I don't
Okay.
even
So
remember.
quite a few.
Yeah,
It's a big-
it's a big.
there's a lot
yeah.
of them making
and
that a
they're
big
all
decision.
spread all over the world. So we don't just have people in Wisconsin. We have people all over the world.
Fascinating.
That's so cool. So have you always been called Ho Chunk Nation then, or is that a recent change as well?
That is a recent change also. We used to be called Winnebago, which is it's a unfortunate name that kind of stuck. It's not very flattering from way back when, back in the 1800s. But in 1994, we actually changed our name to Ho Chunk or the Ho Chunk Nation, which is what we've always called ourselves.
Can I ask where that came from?
What?
Ho Chunk, the term.
It actually means people of the big voice.
Oh.
It could either mean, people of the First Nation. Every tribe has kind of their name originates as First People of First Nation, or it could mean people of the Creator. So
Cool.
either way, yeah.
So you're busy running your own community. Do you work with other communities outside of your own?
We do actually. We're very community and family focused, so we work with a lot of local businesses, local charities.
Again, outside of your Ho Chunk Nation.
Out of Madison area too.
Okay.
And every community is different. So we work with a lot of Madison charities, a lot of Madison businesses, or a lot of national ones. A couple of our favorites are American Red Cross. We work with American Diabetes Association, Second Harvest Food Pantry here in town. But we work with a lot of people.
It's really great to give back. That's
Yeah,
awesome that you
definitely.
guys do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What's up at Ho Chunk right now? Anything new going on, or planning any events?
We have a ton of stuff going on, ton of new, fun, exciting events that I've been sworn to secrecy about. So I can't tell you guys yet, but you'll just have to keep coming back,
No
keep checking with
hints?
us.
Nothing?
Maybe when the cameras are off. we can-
I really wish I could.
All right.
So how many locations do you have then? You have your Madison establishment, and then do you travel, are there any tribes up north, or?
Ho Chunk Nation actually has 6 casinos. We've
Okay.
got Madison, Dells, Black River Falls, Toma, Wittenberg. So they're kind of all scattered around southern Wisconsin.
Oh, see, I never knew that.
Yeah.
I knew the Dells in Madison, of course.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, you just go visit every single one. We actually have a really fun promotion this summer where if you go visit every single casino, you get rewards points and additional points for going to all of them. And
What
there's
a
big
great
promo.
road trip.
Yeah.
Definitely.
like a
be
bike
super
around,
fun
it's a
this summer.
casino ride.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us and sharing your history with us. It's really cool to learn the history behind it and how much Ho-Chunk gives back and all of that. So very cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, come back soon. And come right back for Girl Talk. We're going to have Conant Automotive in just a moment.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. As promised, we are going to talk to you a little bit about oil changes. We'll get some basics from the masters over here at Conant Automotive. And joining me is Joe himself. And how are you doing today?
Great.
So, we got to pick your brain as usual about some car things that we've got questions about.
Sure.
So what I want to know today is kind of give us some basics about oil changes. Everybody needs them.
Right.
So walk us through just some real basic things about what you're doing when we come in and get an oil change.
Well, it's pretty basic. What we do is obviously we just get the vehicle in the air, and we do a lot of basics up above as far as checking all the lights. We go through a simple, write down a list here as far as what we should check and so on, just to make sure everything is safe on your vehicle. We check the, like as far as the suspension goes, we check the rear shocks, the front struts. We make sure there's no oil leaks, make sure the exhaust is intact and where it should be. Just check out the basic integrity of the underneath the vehicle along with like the rust condition that happens in Wisconsin.
Okay.
We take a look at the tires, tell you the condition of the tires, just basically tell you the condition of the integrity of the whole vehicle.
So there's a lot more to an oil change than just the oil change.
Yeah, it's not just simple as just pulling the plug and changing the filter. No,
Right.
you got to check things out. A lot of people make mistakes by, it's fun to do your own oil change at home, but there's things that you just can't check when you're rolling underneath your vehicle in your garage on a Saturday afternoon.
Well, being able to get underneath the car like this, for one, has to be beneficial. I would have no idea what I'd be looking for, but being able to be under here and get the full picture. And talk to me a little bit, you mentioned that you look for rust. So how common is that being in Wisconsin after a long winter?
Well, the biggest thing is not so much the rust of the body panels, but like the rust of the brake lines.
Okay.
Especially the brake lines, because there's not an indicator on your dash saying my brake lines are rusty and they're about to blow.
Right.
So when we look at the brake lines like on this vehicle, they're hidden up underneath here, but we look at those, and if there's bad spots, we'll let the customer know. It's like, okay, you got to keep an eye on this.
Right.
And it's getting to be more and more common now because people are driving their cars, 100, 200,000 miles,
Right.
and it's
good
starting
thing,
to catch up. Right.
But yeah, absolutely, those are some of those safety things that we might not know to look for.
Right.
And we might not know to ask those questions whether or not our shop is checking for those things. So
Exactly.
awesome. Okay. Well, good pointers. Kind of walk me through just the process of an oil change. I really don't know what you do.
Well, now that the vehicle's up in the air, so half of it's actually done. We do a lot of checks when the vehicle's done. We check all the fluid conditions levels, top off the washer fluid, check all the lights, check the wipers, just basically check all the things that need to be looked at that you probably overlook. When the technician starts, he'll start by draining the oil, taking the filter out. We'll basically note the condition of the oil too, because a lot of times if you got like a leak as far as coolant leak into the engine, the antifreeze would come out first. So it's good to note the condition of the oil. If it's really sludgy, maybe advise the customer that they have to get their oil changed more frequently other than what they're doing now.
Yeah.
We look at like the condition of the hoses, especially like the radiator hoses going to the radiator, make sure that they're in good shape, not leaking.
Okay.
Just the biggest thing, like I like to stress, is doing maintenance versus repairs. Because let's say if we did this oil change and just kind of blew through it, and the customer takes it and they're on their way to work or they're coming back from the grocery store on a Sunday night and the radiator hose fails or something else happens that we should have seen when we did the oil change, well, that's the important thing. So I mean, yeah, an oil change, if you're paying like a $20 oil change, that's what you're getting.
Right.
But if you pay,
Get what you pay for.
yeah, exactly. I mean, they're not looking at the things that need to be looked at.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, in our shop here, we're going to note everything, and sometimes we may be high, but we're not the one that's going to judge it. The customer's going to be judging what they want to fix on their vehicle.
Absolutely.
And if we didn't tell them what's going on, we're not doing a good job.
So you're going to make those recommendations
Right.
on all facets of the vehicle based on
Correct.
what you're seeing while you're doing the oil change.
Yeah.
And that's really what's, I think, important, because a lot of us, me, guilty, bring their vehicle in when they need an oil change or when their check engine light's on. And other than that, that's about it as far as when
Right.
you're going to get things looked
And,
at. So.
and like with the 29-minute oil changes, like a lot of companies try to promote, you can't do a thorough job. You really can't. I mean, yeah, you're getting what you pay for, and you want it done fast. Well, the old saying, haste makes waste. Exactly.
Absolutely.
I just soon take 45 minutes or an hour, check the vehicle out complete, and then let the customer know that, yeah, you're good to go, or yeah, you got to address these problems.
Absolutely.
And it just makes sense.
And that's always a good reminder when we're talking to you is, it's really about staying on top of it and getting ahead of those repairs, trying to get the longevity out of your vehicle, rather than waiting until something is wrong.
Right.
Or something has gone terribly wrong. That's when the expense really goes up as well.
Oh yeah, it goes up a lot.
Yeah.
Double, triple, whatever. But it's nice to know, it's nice to know if you're going to have a problem versus, oh my God, I'm going to wake up to a problem.
Right,
So-
absolutely. And I got another question about oil changes while we're on the topic. So some of the newer vehicles, mine isn't really all that new. I've got over 100,000 miles on my car, but I do have the notification of when I need an oil change. So it actually tells me percentage
Right.
of time to oil change. So tell me a little bit about the difference there if you can, because it tells me I need an oil change long after the recommended mileage. What are your thoughts?
I really, and this is my personal experience, for whatever, my years in the business, I would ignore it.
Really?
If a customer asked me that, I would ignore it. I would stick to your mileage versus that percentage.
Okay.
It's just, I like mileage.
Yeah.
I'm from the old school, and yeah, we do either 4,500, or if you run the full synthetic, go 6. But I don't really believe in that. But the manufacturers say, they spend a lot of time and money, and the dealerships may say that do this. But I think it's going to come back to haunt them.
Well,
I really
and I
do.
think the other element there too is if you're a procrastinator like myself, what happens is you wait until it tells you you need an oil change. You may already be really past the time that you needed an oil change, and then however many days or sometimes weeks then still goes by
Right.
and you're running out of that oil. So
Well, I mean, if for just quickly on that oil, if somebody can't, if you went out and bought a brand new vehicle today and you wanted to keep it for 150 or 200,000 miles, maybe that might be a lot to you, but I would suggest running a full synthetic oil right from the beginning. Change it every 6,000 miles. Don't worry about that indicator as far as percentage, and you'll get the life out of that engine. I mean, the products that they're building nowadays are superior to even what they built 5 years ago.
okay.
So
Great
just keep up the
pointers, Joe.
maintenance.
Well, thank you so much for walking
Thank
me
you.
through it. I greatly appreciate it. If you need some pointers, come on out to Stoughton and check out Conant Automotive. Joe's the master. Thanks to Joe, thanks to all our guests, and thank you for watching. Please join us next time.